What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we are here today with weekly indie newcomer playing Pixel Boy ... and the ever-expanding dungeon by Giant Box Games. You can pick it up for $9.99 on Steam right now. It just went live with its 1.0 version. What is Pixel Boy? Well, Pixel Boy is a top-down action RPG in which you go through randomly generated layers one by one, trying to get new equipment, new powers, and taking on super awesome, fantastical bosses. Let's go ahead, and I think I'm going to continue my latest game because the begin a new game puts you at the beginning with a whole bunch of tutorials and whatnot. And so I'd prefer to skip as much of that as I possibly can. Let's just go ahead and jump into this colorful little voxel world and see what we can destroy, because when we're faced with something beautiful, that's the first thing you do, right? You think of ways to destroy it? Sure, that seems like a mentally cogent way to go through life. Let's continue. And so this is how the game works right here. We've got our guy with his little Jimmy Neutron hairstyle. There's a little child right there named Nemo. Hopefully he doesn't sleep too often, otherwise he goes to Dreamland. We want to go to the dungeon. We can also fire our gun in the middle of town. And by gun, I mean our energy hands. And so we have the elevator right here, which brings us up from the bottom of the dungeon once we're done. You can't use this one to go down. You'd think that in the order of expediency, you would just go down the elevator straight to the boss and then handle it that way. But nope, doesn't work like that. You can go to the shop and get some armor if you wanted to. I'll show you that right now. The different armors do different things. So certain armors protect you from various elements, and they also have extra status effects that they do when you've been struck or when things happen to you, basically. If we wanted to buy ourselves some armor orbs, we could do that right here. But luckily, I came equipped with some armor orbs to begin with. Now, I haven't fiddled around with this system too much, so I'm not completely sure how this works. I know that whatever you put in first tends to change the color of the armor, but past that point, I have no idea what to tell you. I mean, if I do that right there, it's a tier 2 armor that gives us 4 armor, 4 damage, and 2 fire rate. That seems alright, so I'm going to go ahead and craft it. It cost me 250 coins. I had 300 right there, and as you can see, it is now equipped on our character. We're looking much more bluey right now. We definitely appear as though our armor has some sort of cold, or is at least shivering from hypothermia. It feels like the kind of armor that once you put it on, you would feel very nipply. But with nothing else left to do, I have no cash left. We'll go back down to the dungeon, and I will let you guys know how this all works. Additionally, if you take a look at the HUD right now, the top right is where we're going to have all of our equipment, and so when we pick up random mods to our weapons, the way that the mods work in this game is very similar to games like Contra. That's the way that I would describe it, where they don't last forever. They're temporary power-ups where you get a certain amount of shots out of them, and then once you have those shots, then they run out, you go back to your default shot, which is that right there. Now, your default shot can be modified by pressing the tab key. If you look right here, we've got various different stats. I'm at level 5 right now. Every time you level up, you get 4 or 5 points that you can add to various statistics like the fire rate, your speed of movement, your damage, your range, and your health. Also, if you look up at the top left, we've got our level, we've got our armor. If that goes away, it'll turn into our health bar. We've got our score, so it's very much arcadey in that respect. We've got keys, we've got gold, and we've got the RGB key. What the RGB key does is it allows us to go to the next part of the dungeon once we collect it. So our ultimate goal in this game is to find all of the pieces of the RGB key so we can go down one deeper. Let's step on into the dungeon and get a feel for the gameplay. Wait a minute, there it is. Alright, I can find it. So number 1 is lit up. That's the first place we're going to go, obviously, because you have to go in chronological order. At the beginning, what the game's going to do is it's going to do this roulette right here, and the roulette is going to dictate what monsters you come across while you play through the level. And so we've got like this little smiley face ready eye guy right here. We've got this weird little fanged salamander looking thing. We've got like a caterpillar, and we've got some ants with some rather large mandibles. Nothing I don't think we can handle.
Act 1, Level 4.
And so here it is. This is where I left off the last time that I played. I ended up dying. The game is actually quite challenging, so if you're into Binding of Isaac, or you were into Smash TV, or really any top-down game in which there's a significant level of difficulty, I would strongly recommend Pixel Boy. It's quite a good game. What is this? Drink from the shrine. The health shrine is now empty. Oh, I just wasted healing items. Oh, and we can repair our armor right there, too. This door can be unlocked from another location. Alright, well let's go through this one then, since that one has decided to be a total wang block. We'll go this way. And it looks like we are up against the... Oh, the ants spit at you. That's not very polite. Obviously not getting invited to any fancy dinner parties. Now, what are some of the other things that you have in store for you? Well, if you press the space bar right here... Oh, we got the green key piece. That's good. I don't even know what those do, so we probably want to be careful about those. If I press the space bar, what you'll see is that my character gets a little bit of an energy shield right there. It makes you immune to damage. Now, there are a couple stipulations about using the energy shield that you should know. There's a 1-second charge time, basically, after you put it down, in which you cannot fire, and you can't put the shield back up for 1 second or so after you've had it up for a little bit. So basically, you want to use it only when absolutely necessary to block your most recent threat, and then after that, if you have anything else, you're gonna have to wait a second before you can put it back up again. Otherwise, you're gonna get tagged right along that jaw. And while I think that scars will help you out at the bar when it comes to picking up the ladies, as far as I go personally, I would prefer my hero to be unscarred, because that means that he's better at heroing, if that is indeed a word. The little yellow guys that you're seeing right there have a charge attack. They speed up and run at us. The ants obviously spit. Thus far, nothing too serious to worry about. The correlations that I would draw with this game are largely going to be related to a lot of the arena games we've been seeing lately. Ow, right in my face. And so the side effect of the blue armor is that whenever you get hit, it makes it rain ice on the enemy. Kind of a cool little ability. The way that I would draw a correlation to this is paranautical activity, but in a top-down sense, no longer in a first-person sense. Binding of Isaac a little bit, although the randomly generated levels, this one is a bit more arcadey than Binding of Isaac, I think, if I was going to describe it to people. I would almost say that it's a lot like Smash TV, just with randomly generated levels, and then they've added a few of the basic necessities of RPG adventure gaming that you would see in modern gaming. So basically the ability to pick up coins, the ability to level up and get XP along the way, become better at whatever it is that you do. We can't fire from out behind our shield as well. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Now these little red blocks right here, this is what you want to use your shield for, but I am going to destroy the enemies before I try and cross this. The game is filled with nasty little trap rooms like this that you're going to have to get used to navigating. Ooh, we are in close quarters combat with an enemy that wants us quite diad. Ooh, and I almost got tagged right there. Alright, let's step through. I think I could do this sans shield, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, so I'm just going to use my shield. Now, the environments aren't necessarily destructible. One thing that I would like to see is the ability to destroy some of these pots and things during the course of the battle. So as you're wiping things out, I think it would add to kind of the tone, and it would add to the speed of the game. For example, if I attack this over here, if it exploded, or if little bits and chunks got blown off every time I was firing it around, it would lend a sense of impact to the projectiles that you're firing. Just one of those little things that I would notice that I don't think would be super hard to mod in, but it would be cool to be able to destroy these little stacks of stuff. That's just, maybe it's me, but whenever I play games like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, or games in which there's a little bit of hack and slashing or shooting going on, I really like blowing stuff up, and so it makes me happy. I figured I would suggest it here since developers tend to see these videos. I don't know what it is about these videos, but they seem to get seen by developers. I'm going to shoot that nitro can. Oh, couldn't get to it in time. Well, then I'm going to back up. I'm going to block that right there. And unfortunately, I didn't get that guy, but there are little hazards around. So there's nitro cans. There's a couple other things that I've seen around, but by and large, they seem to be limited to those explodey boxes here on the first floor. I wouldn't know. I haven't gone too much farther into the gameplay. I'm hoping we get to the first boss right here. This is more of a first impressions video than anything else. I know over the last week or so, ooh, slow shot. I don't know if I want that or not. Now, you can mod these out and swap them in or out. Oh, it just makes my shot go a little bit slower. What does this do? Growing pixels. Okay, so our pixels get larger as they go further and further. Now, if you wanted to move these around, what you can do is you can go to the tab screen right here, and you can click on them in your inventory, and you can activate them and deactivate them so that you can save them for later. This can be very, very useful if you've got power-ups that do a lot more damage, or they increase your speed, or they do things that are beneficial to your shot, given what boss you're going to be up against. So let's say that you need something that curves against a certain boss, like maybe he puts down certain walls or something, you need to fire around them. A curving shot would be a very nice thing for you to save until later, so you can still deal damage even though you're hiding from his fire. Just little things to think about along the way. I tend to save my power-ups until I get to the point where I'm knocking on death's door, and that means that mine get wasted a lot. Nonetheless, I do still do my best to kind of save them for a rainy day. I don't know how your gunshot power-ups... Guns don't seem to remedy rainy days for me. In fact, they seem to make them worse. So, I try to leave guns and power-ups and firearms kind of released, because shooting the rain doesn't make it go away anyways. But we save it for a rainy day nonetheless, given the fact that it's a projectile, whatever. It's just a saying. We're not going to debate about it too much. Ooh, dodged him right there. Let me fire a few more times. The controls are very, very simple. I'm using the WASD to move right now. The spacebar does my energy shield. Left click fires. Right click does nothing, as far as I can tell. We've also got splitting pixels, which I suppose is something like splitting hairs, although slightly less obnoxious because it's not occurring in a debate setting. I think I'm probably going to save that for later. The other thing that you can do is when you go to town, you can use a forge to combine these abilities as well. So let's say that I wanted splitting growing shots. When I go to town, I can melt those together, and I'm doing hand motions right now, which is why I stopped. Let me take that off because I like being able to target my stuff a bit better. Right here, we've got a bit of a problem. He's guarding the door with a horizontal shot. I got him out of the way, though, so it worked out. We've got all the pieces of the key right now. If we press the M key, it's going to put us into map mode. And I'm thinking that where we want to go is going to be down here. So let's just kind of go the long way. And we'll see where we land. Ooh, almost ate a hit right there. Okay. I don't want to be eating no hits right now, sir. Oh, no, 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 no! Ah! Why do bugs hate me so much? Oh my god. And I just got tagged twice, so our armor's looking a little worse for wear. We may want to go back to the beginning room and see if it's going to be feasible for us to repair it. I don't know what that costs or what that's going to entail. Oh, and I didn't shield in time right there. I tried. There's a lot of projectiles around, so as you can tell, the game does get quite hectic very, very quickly. It just sort of depends on the assemblage of the room that you found. Ooh, big bullets. As far as I understand projectiles, the bigger, the better, although this kind of... Ow. Bastard. Yep, definitely going to need to repair my armor. Let's see if we can find ourselves a forge to get that done. Did we level up? I think we did. Oh yeah, I've got 4 points that I could spend right now. I'm gonna go for a little bit of extra range since I feel like my shots are not going as far as I want them to. I'm gonna have to lead him a little bit since he's farther out. And once we wipe a smile off these little yellow faces, these little golden faces, whatever they are, they're assembled out of blocks. They are literal blockheads. Let's head back to the room that we started off in. These treasure chests can be opened if you have keys, but keys don't seem to drop very often. I never seem to have any supply of keys, so maybe that's just me being unprepared. You could probably buy them somewhere around. Let's head back down this way. And I think the anvil was around here somewhere. That's the exit room. Where did I start? Right here? Let's see if we can get back there. That's not where I started, but I want my anvil, damn it. Oh, it's off to my left, maybe. We can't activate that or use it for anything. Ah, there it is. What does this cost me? It's gonna cost me 120 coins. Roger. That seems okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it, or Steve, or Sal, or Jesse, or whatever it is you like to say whenever you communicate with your peers over a walkie-talkie. And we will exit this level now that we have the RGB key.
A dark atmosphere. Attends music. Indicator arrows. It looks like a boss battle.
Okay, so it looks like we have a boss battle in front of us. I have no idea what I'm doing right here. As I said, this is more of a first impression video than anything, but we're gonna give Pixel Boy our best shot. I'm glad that I repaired my armor. I don't even know. Maybe these switches, like, deactivate a spawner somewhere or something. Ow, right in the face, too. Do these repop out? Oh, okay, so we have a problem. Moby Richard, a rather large, nasty ant. Oh my god, his HP pool is looking quite horrifying. Can I do anything? Oh yeah. I don't know if these help at all, but... Oh! They do a giant zappy poo. Okay. I like zappy poos. I don't know what those orbs are around him, but the ant appears to have grown balls. And for whatever reason, that's quite a bit more threatening than he initially was. I don't know. It's scarier for me. Don't judge. We need Moby Richard inside the confines of this thing. Does this hurt me when I walk through it? I hope not. Ah, bastard. He dodged it. Okay, well, let me try one more time. Take that, Moby Richard. You giant brat bastard. Alright, Moby Richard has now taken a little bit of damage, although so have we. So I need to make it so that I'm not trading shots with this guy. There we go. And so while he's zapped, do I do more damage to him, or how does this work here? I'm definitely feeling like I need to hurt him a little bit. Oh, hell. What is destroying him right now? I don't even know what's injuring him at the moment. Have his own men turned upon him? Has there been ant betrayal? Ants aren't known for being fickle like that, but they might be. Oh, it could also be my AoE from being hit. And so burn up he goes. He's a surprisingly flammable ant. That may be due to the fact...
Quarter of the way, and we've already recycled assets as a boss. Going green and gaming. On we go to Act 2.
And so throughout the game, you have like this little announcer who just says stuff. I don't know if any of it lends any credence, but some of it is slightly humorous. I mean, it's almost there. It's like on the edge of humorous. So I accept it. I don't complain about it. You can turn it off if you want to by hitting the spacebar whenever he talks. It'll make him shut up, but I like him. He adds a little bit of theme to the whole thing, although I think he needs more of an announcer's voice. He needs himself, welcome to the boss fight. You know, something like that with a little bit of echo on the back end. We got the boss room key collected, which I assume unlocks the next level. And so let's go ahead onwards and upwards and check that out. Back to town we go. We have cash to spend. Although, I think I'm just going to spend my time. Let's go and see if we can't buy keys somewhere. I don't know if there's a boss anywhere. Or, I'm sorry, if there's a shop anywhere that sells keys. But we're going to see if we can locate that thing right now. He must have been... Here lies Robert McCulley, breaker of keyboards. the rage monster. We can craft right here if you wanted to. That's the spot that I was talking about right there where you can combine the power-ups from all of your little shooters. I want to go down in here though and see if maybe we can get ourselves a key so I can show you guys a treasure chest. This is an armor shop, so I don't think this is going to be necessarily that useful. I think he only sold orbs, so not really interested in those. Let's back on out of here and see if maybe there's another shop around here somewhere. We can't... Oh, we can go into our own house. Can I buy upgrades for my house? That'd be kind of fun. Can I destroy my own house? Can I make it more like my apartment where things are just laying around everywhere because I'm a lazy bastard? No, I can't. Well, it looks like we've got... Why are we outside doing dangerous things if there's a keyboard and video games right here? I feel like we're making a severe tactical blunder. I know what my skills are. Geekery and video game playing. I don't tempt fate like that. Leave the heroism to the heroes. The Monster Museum.
Interested in reading a not-so-witty description of enemies you've already encountered? No? Well, there's the door.
This is the Monster Museum where you can look at any of the monsters you fought. And I think it also... I don't think it allows you to see into like their strategies or anything, but you can just take a look at all the little voxel critters that you've had around, just in case you're interested in the cubic artwork. Some people are, some people aren't. I know a lot of people. There's been this weird backlash lately against pixel art. I don't know why. I grew up with pixel art. I mean, I started with the Atari 2600, and from there, so, you know, pixel art was all we had back in the day. Nonetheless, some people don't seem to like it very much. I like squares. I feel like they make up great stuff. Let's go ahead one more time with the Mog Maker 5000 or 9000. They added 4,000 digits to it. They didn't tell me. Ooh, we got like a little crawly walkie thing that's got a ton of hair gel. All right. He looks aggressive. He's definitely got kind of a sinister repose. He got a sinister visage on his face.
Level 1. Bigger dungeons. Harder enemies. And, well, water, I guess.
Okay, so we can't go left. I was looking for an anvil. I'm gonna go upwards this time because I want to see what these new little guys do. If they just hop around, no harm, no foul. Okay, it appears as though they just kind of bounce around a little bit. I didn't see any projectiles, so I don't know if I should be scared of them. I'm going to remain tentatively afraid. I'm gonna preemptively be afraid of them until I know better. Looks like we've got some water now too. Oh, that washes you around. Okay, stuff to learn. So it looks like we've got terrain hazards as well that have been added. An interesting little touch. Shows a nice amount of insight on the part of the developer in knowing that the levels have to evolve and get a little bit worse as you go through the game. I'm glad we're not just fighting on static arenas anymore, and I am interested to see what comes in the future. Treasure chest right here, but we've yet to find ourselves a treasure key, so hopefully we'll find one along the way here. Kill off this little hopper. Down he goes, and so now that he's out of the way, I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go back to the treasure room because I feel better falling back into a treasure room. There's just something about the lovely warm glow of a treasure room. Treasure rooms are warm, in case you didn't... What is this guy? Oh, he's a shopkeeper. He sells stuff. Okay, so that's new. I've never seen that either. I'm gonna shield myself from the charge of this... Well, he seems a little bit enthusiastic. This rather enthusiastic glowing salamander with head spikes. I don't know what weird manipulation of genetics has ended up with him being in here, but... I definitely don't want him ramming his... No, I don't want him ramming his head into any parts of me. I was trying to come up with something witty to say, but I got nothing today. I got nothing. Alright, let's see what's in the shop. He's got a treasure key for 30. Sure, I'll take one. And he drops it on the ground over there. He threw that thing on the ground because we don't know him. I'm gonna step... Well, let's open a treasure chest and see what happens. We've got a spread shot. Ooh, nice. And so we've got ourselves a 3-way shot. Now, were we to combine this with another spread shot, it would shoot 5 ways. If we do it with another one, it would shoot 7 ways. And so as you upgrade these things, they get better and better and better. Because we've got the cash, I actually think I'm going to stock up on... Ooh, a health potion too? Sure, why not? So we can buy that. How come we can't buy the health potion? What's going on here? We can buy mushrooms. -1 damage. I don't really know what that does. I'm going to assume that it makes us take 1 less damage whenever we get hit. Oh, and we got the green key piece. I'm going to do my best to use the spread shot to get rid of these aggressive little buggers down here. Oh, and there's a bunch more coming at us. Ow! Well, I tried. I tried to get out of the way, but he was just too speedy and skillful. Press E for a time stopper, 1-time use. Okay. That seems pretty sweet. Might be useful if we find ourselves surrounded by enemies and getting annihilated. I'm gonna get rid of my spread shot because I want to save it for a while. Let's go for... I don't really want the splitter. What happens if we match a splitter and that right there? I don't see anything happening. Hold on. Did I get the wrong thing? What does SL do? Oh, a slow shot. I want the splitter. Ooh. Nice. We get ourselves a little bit of shotgun action right here. Let's play around with this. Oh, cool. Wow, I like that right there. It puts out a grid of fire that's going to be very difficult to dodge if you're the enemy sort of amassed around any central location. It also increases the chance that you'll be able to hit the enemy with multiple bolts at one time. Very nice. I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely liking the variability in fire types in this game, although you will note that if you look at the top right-hand corner, I'm wasting a lot of ammo by using this, and these are resources we may need to draw upon later in case we get into another crowded room. And so what I think I'll do for right now is let's go ahead and stow it as soon as we clear out the remainder of the room. There it is, and we'll turn these both off. And in the interest of saving for the future, we'll just kind of sit on it for right now. If we can't sell it, we'll sit on it. Oh, and another Spidarian coming down from the ceiling trying to attack me with his nasty little blue goo balls. Where he farms those goo balls, I'm not sure. I would assume they have a plantation around somewhere where spiders are supplied with their lovely little glowing goo balls. I don't know if it's just... I don't know if they've got black lights rigged up in here or how that works, but everything seems to be glowing. It's like a laser tag arena in here. What part of the bad guy decided that it would be a good idea to start putting black lights all over the dungeons just to make everything glow? I don't know, but they did. And I can't say that it detracts from the dungeon in any way. In fact, I think it makes it a little bit more likely. I mean, I suppose you might be hoping that the hero that's invading you might be epileptic or something, and that might take them out. It's an extra hazard. It's an extra hazard in the off chance that that's the way that things roll. Looking at my map, there's nowhere else that we can go right. Well, can we? Was this room a dead end? Let's have a look. I'm not remembering. Or maybe I didn't go this way at all. Have we leveled up again too? No, we haven't leveled up again. Okay, the room was a dead end. Alright, well let's head back the way we came. And I'm going to let the recording run right now. I'm going to talk about the things that I do and don't like about this game, although I think in the latter category there's not going to be a whole lot to discuss, because the game has been really fun thus far. The things I like about Pixel Boy is that it's basically a love letter to my childhood. If you enjoy top-down shooters like Mercs or Smash TV and always wish that they'd be in a randomly generated world, this is probably going to be your Huckleberry. This game is quite fantastic. The sheer amount of power-ups, things you can mix, armor you can create, ways you can level up, and dungeons you can explore are simply mind-blowing. The graphical representation is very, very good. I like the way that it is. I wouldn't change anything. I like how you've got fluorescent and UV lighting combined to make a mishmash of colors all the time, a melange, if you will. The sound effects are great. I love the surrealist soundtrack in which everything sounds misty. I like all the sound effects that you get when things hit you and how there's a large chunk sound and it makes it feel as though everything has weight. With regards to gameplay, there's tons of puzzles to be solved, tons of bosses to be killed, and every time you play the game, it's going to be different. So if you're interested, the game is called Pixel Boy by Giant Box Games. You can get it for $9.99 right now on Steam. I look forward to seeing you all next week on Weekly Indie Newcomer. One more time, the game is called Pixel Boy. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next Friday with another indie game for your perusal.